everyone. This is Real and Raw, and I am Lynn Serrano, and you are?
I'm Brian.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
How are you, Brian? How was your weekend?
Good. Yesterday was relaxing. Saturday was good. Out and about, creating havoc and normal antics. So.
Yeah, I hear you. I actually, I took time for myself and did nothing. I haven't watched soap operas in a freaking long ass time. I decided I'm gonna watch soap opera.
And what's your go-to?
Young and the Restless, because they talk about business stuff and business acquisitions and things like that. So I like when they talk about bogus business stuff. So, and I like the vocabulary and stuff. So
you got all the fake kissing, like where he's like,
no, actually, no, because of COVID, they don't have that. Except there's one couple that are truly like dating in real life. So they get the smushy sex scenes, and but the rest are really a distance, and like somebody walks in, they're so excited to see them, they're like, hi.
They give a hug from like 3 feet away.
Yeah, so so it's interesting to see how I like the way they're like this couple, they were sitting at a coffee table and they go to look at this other couple, and the girl like reaches over the desk, like over the table like this, and then they break it from there to the other scene of the couple going, oh, look what they're doing. So there's a lot of innuendos there, which is great to see how creative. So I'm looking at it from a performing arts standpoint.
Yeah.
The
you
behind
just
the scenes.
like to see the the bedroom
no
scenes.
no dude no okay. But anyway, so I finally watched the ending of The Bachelor. That's been over for weeks, and I really wasn't interested in this. I mean, like, I didn't watch the tell all because I didn't give a shit about that drama. I just want to see how the story unfolded. So I binged and finished watching that. So it was just mindless stuff that I was just great. I just had to, after the week I had with all the interviews I did last week, and then my grandson's birthday, and then watching my other daughter. I mean, like, just so much stuff going on. I'm like, I need to decompress. Yep. So I did. I literally just didn't do much of anything. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool.
So anyways.
We're getting a new week.
Yes, we do. And I've got to say, that Sherry did a great job, didn't she?
Yeah.
And considering she didn't get to watch our show because she had such a busy week.
Shout out to Sherry Gideon.
Yes.
She Gideons. Gideons.
Yes,
right?
Gideons. Yep, Gideons.
Yeah, man, she was a full trooper, but and she just played along, and I looked at her face a couple times, and like when the moments got like, well, okay, all right, Lynnisms, all right.
She did good.
She did great.
I know, right? I mean, I was pretty impressed. Which, by the way, I'm getting confirmation that Jerry might be after. Like, we have Ken Walls this week, or no, Coachman, and then Ken Walls next week, and then Larry the following week. So we're pretty excited. And there's Sandra's here.
Mr. San Jose, Charles Coachman. Be ready on Friday.
Woo. Oh, right. Yeah, bring it on. So I'm pretty excited. We'll almost have all our April covered, and we someday got to get Sandra on here.
Oh
yeah. Yeah, you keep watching, Sandra. You're gonna be next. Your draw.
Guess what, Sandra? You can't hide anymore.
Yeah. No excuses. We have no excuses here.
Nope.
But speaking of no excuses, I think I like this week because we're trying to take everyone on a road of a blank canvas.
Yep.
And realizing this is all yours. Let nobody decide for you.
Yep.
And that's just how I feel about my trip coming up, Brian. I mean, like I know how excited I'm going to see all the friends and things on there. And there's Sandy. I hope Sandy someday is one of our Friday guests one day. I hope she takes us up on that. It would be an honor to have her on the show.
Thank you for being one of our loyal listeners.
Yeah. Oh, and then there's Jerry. It's on my schedule once Lynn figured out how the calendar works. Yeah, I told him it was going to be like, so that would be April 24th. And he goes, Lynn, that's a Saturday. Okay. Yes. Friday, the 23rd.
Hey, it's Jerry. Come on now. Who cares what?
Yeah. So then Jerry's on there. Jerry's on there after Larry. So we have April covered. So yeah, woohoo! That'll be awesome.
Jerry, I'll be sending you my mind map for that book here shortly.
Oh, did you?
I don't have it completed yet, but I've been, I took a little weekend off. I did some work or whatever, but I didn't go full bore. So you'll be expecting that from me shortly. The mind map for the book. So.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I'm excited.
Currently, right now, I'm going through all of the content and I'm putting it into a table of contents. So it's nice. There's about 200 different pieces of content that I'm going through for this first book. So,
dude,
I'm in action.
Why not? Why does it have to be 200? Why don't you do your first 100? Like, why don't you cut it down?
Because what if I never do another book specifically with this topic?
Oh, bullshit. No, you will be. You will be. I'm just saying, do you want a really thick book that people can't take all over the place? It can't be handy.
Until you see the content, until you see the content, it's not a traditional book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a Bible. It's a digest.
It's about thoughts. It's manageable bites. It's colorful. It's not going to be your normal size book, at least my visual of it. So
yeah.
My thought is that to do volume 2, when I could do it all in one, it's like, and if somebody's going to buy it, I want to just immerse them in the thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Anybody in and outside of planning an event or how they create the event, the experience, all of that. I'd rather give them all I have. So,
yeah, but can I?
And firing into action. Absolutely.
Yeah, there you go. Stop getting hang up on the, and now firing. So, but Brian, I want you to realize this though, right? Your first half of the book could be for people that want to dabble, that don't want to go in any more than the surface of what your concept is. And then from your surface of your concept, because they have their program, that would be easier to digest. If you put it all in whatever, people might get overwhelmed and lost. I mean, it's just food for thought. But 2 volumes are nice because, when they get your concept here, but the second part, the meats and potatoes that people want to implement, if they want to go with that, then
that's not how I write.
Okay. Well, I'll have to figure it out. But
all of these, this first book is all about wedding customers. It's, customers, anybody related to a family, professionals, and how their customer experience is from a wedding point of view.
You got to overwhelm the shit out of people right away.
I'd rather
I love it though.
Wedding serious. But here's the thing: is that it's not in traditional book format. Writing.
I gotcha.
I gotcha. It's colorful. The graphics, nice. It sits on a normal screen. Like a keynote slide or whatever. Each one of them. So,
nice. No, so it sounds good. But make sure people don't need to do monthly installments to buy it. No, just kidding. No. I just realized it.
Yeah, no, there's no monthly installments. There's no affiliate link. There's none of that. We don't get over.
No affiliate link? What? You're doing it wrong. No, just
yeah, 3 installments of $3. There we go. Okay.
You see a blank canvas. It could be whatever you want it to be. Granted, the fulfillment center that you got to pay something for processing, printing it up. But other than that, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I'm in action right now, and I love the approach, Jerry, and I think it ties into the chimney business where you ignite and then you fire. I think there might be a tie in there, So no affiliate link. I am in shock.
Now make sure you have the defibrillators nearby there with that one, Jerry.
Either that or take 2 batteries and I don't know, get 2 AA's and connect it with a wire. But don't trust my electrical experience. Okay.
Oh my gosh, you're cracking up over here.
Hey, hold on. Trust my, I'm not a licensed electrician, but I know several things about it, especially on a professional level. But it's like, when it comes to DIY electrician, don't trust me. Yeah.
We make no claws over here. There's no claws.
Claws.
The claws.
Is that like legal claws or like claws? Like wolf would have.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, the blank canvas is that, we're being creative right now. That we're role playing what it is to blank canvas.
Right.
I mean, and of course, you know how acting is and stuff. It's the yes and as opposed to no but or yes but. So changing those words can make a huge difference in your life. And it's, oh, here we go, Charles.
I know how to screw in a light bulb. Yeah.
All right, then he's ready for our show on Friday. So I'm excited to have you here, Charles.
Charles got solar now, so
oh, does he?
Yeah, he's got solar.
Nice.
Jamie Green, who's a part of the
nice
Grow Alive group, she sells solar, so he invested in that.
Oh, that's awesome. Glad to hear that.
And he's in San Jose, so I mean, all the sunshine they get, I mean, that's got to be a great investment.
That's awesome. So, the blank canvas, I know we've talked about, creating and things like that, but when you realize, and this was a little visual that Brian gave us today.
Yeah,
here. Let me.
I
take
looked for
this
several of them, and it's like, okay, some of them are boards and whatnot, but I wanted one that was really big, from a standpoint, like really make that your screenshot, make that your mind, like everything you see in the morning or whatever, make it like a blank canvas. And when you write it down, if it's a flip chart, if it's a dry erase board, doesn't really matter. I mean, that's a good visual, I think, for this week, that it's like it takes up everything in your mind, right? So that canvas is as big as possible, that anything that is there, you write it down, you make it your world, right? You become immersed in, just like when a scientist or a mathematician will use a full board or Albert Einstein, right?
Mm-hmm.
He'll take up a whole chalkboard to do one equation,
mm-hmm.
And to me, it's like, obviously, when we look at a blank canvas, it's, depending on how you think and, your background and all of that, it might not be easy. But at the same time, when it comes from nothing and you put pen on paper or marker or whatever it is, that's one of the most freeing things that a human being can do, in my opinion.
What's funny is it really starts back to when we were talking about having that quiet time with yourself.
Yep.
And, this morning I took a piece of paper. And I mean, I don't draw. I don't. But I was like really proud of myself. I did this. I did this little, where is it? There you go. The little jar.
That's cool.
Live, love, laugh. Because I'm actually going to get personalized license plates on my car.
That's
and
awesome.
It's going to be just the LLLLOL. And
cool.
But I sat down and I started doing this little jar thing, and I'm like, I've never just even done that. But, if you just take a piece of paper or a marker and just allow yourself to, as stupid as it sounds or silly or whatever, just write down whatever comes to fruition, because it's just so cool how it really works. And so, Charles, hi, Charles.
Good morning, bud.
And then coming Friday, yes. So,
And just so everybody knows that when I look down, I'm just writing down keywords or phrases for our show on Friday. So if I look down, I got like little slips of paper here, just so everybody knows.
Yes. So what's really super cool is that having that time by yourself. And so it's not time to daydream about your girlfriend right now. I'm just kidding you. Anyways. She's so cute. Anyways, we're just having side notes here. But yeah, it's really cool that if you put that quiet time to yourself and just, whether you take a composition book or a blank book or a marker and just write your thoughts that come down. It's just such a cool thing to do, and also I've been doing this a lot lately. It's really cool is, you think of somebody and put their name down on a book and the time. And lately, when I think about them, they're calling me within like 6 hours of the time that they come to mind. And it's just, it's things like that. If you just notice those, being aware of those things and just how simple life can be, and we don't have to complicate it.
Well,
and go ahead.
I think that with the blank canvas is like, and I thought long and hard about this topic, and I didn't know if Lynn was going to like it or not, but it was like, okay, the open road, right? You put everything in your past and you're keeping it there. It's like, okay, well, what's the next best, what's the next thing? I don't know, blank canvas.
Yeah.
That it's like every moment of every day, you've mapped it out in your head. Now,
Yeah.
I think it's a huge discipline. I don't think it happens overnight. I think it's a daily practice. And I think that it's something where it's just something you do. Like, you isolate yourself in such a way where when you get in that zone, you're just in your head. But the biggest thing about it, in my opinion, is that you're only answering to yourself.
Right. And
it's a judgment-free zone.
And the first thing you need to do is really quiet your thoughts first and foremost. And quieting thoughts.
Even then, I mean, even if you have thoughts, you're writing them down.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Just write them down, because then you have documentation, like in a journal format or something, right? Like that, whether it's a dry erase board or your composition notebook or just a pad of paper, whatever it is, it's yours.
Well, and not only that,
you can go to another page.
Why do you not see that vision boards are such a big deal with people? I mean, what do you start with? A blank sheet of paper to put your stuff on your vision board. You can't do that without having a blank sheet. Where are you going to put that vision board? Where it's got to start empty.
Well, I mean, obviously, depending on where everybody is and like in their professions or what their skill sets are or whatever they desire to do, it's like, okay, this may come from an artistic point of view, right? But it's like, you give me an architect or you give me a graphic designer or animation artist or something like that, they don't start with a completed project. When somebody builds a house, they start from drawings, they start from a piece of land. I mean, the metaphor, the visual is like that dartboard, right? It's like you start from anything and everything, and then all of a sudden you start honing it,
right?
Just like a raw piece of material to make a diamond. A diamond doesn't start that way. You chop at it a little bit here, a little bit there, and then all of a sudden now you have a princess cut, or you have, whatever it is. But it doesn't start that way. But giving up that there's a right and wrong is something that you have to have on your own. It's got to be your own creation. And you take ownership for it, but you don't make yourself wrong if it doesn't work out the way it is, or if it takes you in a different direction, because you gravitate towards where it takes you. It's not like the end all be all, where it's like, if I put it down on this blank canvas, and that's going to be the end thing. But no, you're excited about what it may generate.
Just like this was my so former bodybuilder, former athlete. I go into these spurts where I get into my athlete zone, right?
Yeah.
So I'm super excited about this because I don't have much room in my room for stuff. Like, I've got a portable exercise that folds in and things like that. But this weekend I bought this for myself. I'm so freaking stoked because look at what I bought. A portable bench.
Nice. Good for you.
So that, and I love that it's portable. I might even take that on the freaking road with me, man. Because I love doing my stomach crunches and my leg stuff. Because I can't walk that far, but it doesn't mean I can't get on there and do all my leg exercises, right? So I'm so stoked. But it takes that, to know that I got to make sure my daughter doesn't find it, because she'll want it upstairs. She took all my weights upstairs. I can't do the 20 pounds anymore. So she's got them. She's got some of my sports stuff. And I'm pretty excited because she's lost like 80 pounds herself.
Wow.
Pretty damn. Her transformation has been freaking awesome. But, she's taken all my things I've done and whatnot and implement them. But again, what I'm saying to you, creative, I even love, if you look at that, it even comes with a chart, for all the different I'm so freaking stoked. I can't even tell you. It'll be here like Friday, I think. And I was looking for just a bench, but I don't have room for just a bench. And so I was like, let me look for a foldable one. And so, hi, Eric. And so, so I was super stoked, saying, oh no, because I'll tell you what, I've spent a lot of times on the workout bench and I freaking love them. I mean, I try to pick things up now, and the herniated disc, bless you. I can't lift the way I want to anymore, but it's like, it's okay. But, I just see the adventure, say, okay, so I'm going to be doing this funky and funny and whatever, but it can't take away the zone of creating and doing some funny shit. I mean,
Right.
it's just, I'm super stoked. But I was telling my friend Chasey, I'm like, you know what? That's so freaking portable. That might go in my backseat of my Malibu, and it's going everywhere I go. I don't give a shit. That's how excited I am about that bench right now.
Yeah. Well,
So,
even then, it's like, okay, you have to be in a space of doing it, because even no matter how convenient it is, it doesn't make any difference unless you take it out of the freaking bag or whatever.
oh, of course, of course.
And commit to it, you know.
But the thing I love is, I'm like, Lynn, you can't walk far, but you can definitely do those exercises. And like I used to do Pilates. That's not walking. So it's like, instead of thinking of what I can't do, I'm thinking of all the things I can do, you know, and I got to do them in smaller increments. So be it. But I am super stoked on finally saying, you know, I was kind of cringing and saying, I don't want to spend that $150, but I'm like, oh no, I deserve it. I'm buying it. I'm getting it, and I got it. It's just like, so I'm pretty stoked. But again, it's the, what am I going to be able to create this time? What am I going to get my body to do this time? That's what I'm pretty excited about. And you know, it's such an adventure. And it's just like, I love it. Everybody else will probably think I'm crazy, whatever. But you know, I
That
do
shouldn't
have
matter anyway.
no, and it doesn't matter at all. So I can eat pizza. Yes, you can eat pizza if you'd like. I don't do pizza no more. So, but again, it's just it's one of those things. A whole thing of, what can you create? What can you do? And what
Well,
tools or what different things are going to help you? I mean, like if you don't like to color in black and you like purple or whatever, I mean, whatever is going to excite you to get motivated to do what you got to do, that's the tools you need in order to get where you want to go.
You mentioned a question that I think I want to double down on just a little bit is,
Okay.
you know, what can you create? And it's like, it's such an open question that unless somebody's mind is wired to go there, or perhaps open to that, they're going to find all the rationale for what limits them versus like, I don't know, you know, like what can you create? Let's see, you know, just by the words that come out of somebody's mouth, it'll tell me where they might be.
Yeah.
Because the answers are not on the wall. It's up here. It's in your heart.
Right.
And I just had to point that out because it's such an open thing where there's no context, right?
Right.
There's
right.
It's not going anywhere.
Right.
You create where it goes. You create
exactly.
the structure.
And that's the thing. To me, the bench represents a lot of good times working out for me.
Yep.
And that's why I was like, wait a second, I have that bench here and I could just do whatever I want with it. It's going to remind me of the good times of, I mean, I used to have a 6-pack stomach like you wouldn't believe. Like I did love lifting the legs up and going to a certain point.
Wow.
I mean, that's a hard ass exercise. I mean, I'm double jointed, so I could flip over backwards to whatever. And it's just like, I haven't done that shit in a while. I'm like, I am super excited for the things I can do on that thing that I know, even though it might be painful, I can still do some of that stuff. And I'm like, I'm just excited to see where my limits are now, you know, in a different capacity. I was just thinking the other day, and I don't even know why it came up. I think because I don't know, but the point is, it's just like somebody has vision and they slowly lose their, you know, eyesight. You know, they still learn things from memories and things like that, you know, and muscle memories and things like that. And it was like, it's like, you know, I mourned for so long that I couldn't work out like I used to. I mean, I used to spend 2 and 3 hours. I used to spend 6 hours in the gym. I'd spend 2 in the morning and 2 or 3 at night. I'd take my kids with me to the gym. I'd watch Biggest Loser for 2 hours being on the elliptical. Like,
wow.
That's how obsessed I was, you know? And it's like, I can't do that the way I want to anymore. But boy, I would push it. And that's just how hardcore I am. I just realized I got to be nicer to myself this time. Like, I'm trying to be nice, you know? It's not easy to be nice, but hey, I'm going to get there. And, like I said, I don't care if it takes me a year or 2 years, but I know I'm going on the right road. I know that when I'm in pain, I've got to stop. I'm like, oh, shit, but
I think that the blank canvas is one of the, it's priceless, number one, but number two is that it involves nobody else.
Yeah.
How many times in life are we, do we have things on our own, like things all for us,
right?
Whether they be passion projects or things we want to do in life or whatever, and to be at the source of that.
Right.
But then also though, on the flip side is like, it's just a place to be in where you can just let your brain go.
Well,
I mean, you give me Jim Rohn or any of the famous, achievers of our time, and I'll give you people that want to see their journals.
Right.
Like what they wrote, like their brain just shelling it out on paper. Or all the different, like Thomas Edison, or Tesla, Nikola Tesla, all the different people and how many materials they used in warehouses of different prototypes and, Jobs and Wozniak, right?
Right.
They didn't know what was going to happen, but they're up for it. They felt it. It was great.
Just like Einstein and everything else. I mean, when you're writing your canvas, good example, I'm bringing to life a workbench, a workout bench, okay? But I can bring that from my past and make that lively to me now and what it means to me. Every experience you have, you get every day to go back to that canvas and say, well, take that shit out of the equation and put something else in,
Right.
and reworking it. So that's the nice thing about having a canvas.
Well, and here's the thing is that just like a notebook, it could be at the dollar store, it could be some fancy, whatever, but that's not the significance.
Right.
It's that you have a reservoir in a place that you can find stuff. You're taking all of this precious real estate up here and putting it down on paper or on your iPad with a pencil, an Apple Pencil, if digital is your thing. But it's just like your bench. The bench has significance only if it's used for what it's for.
Exactly.
The notebook doesn't know any better. There's no human-like qualities in a notebook or in a workout bench.
No, it's just what you put value into it. What it actually, so that's why blank canvas can be anything. I mean, like you said, you could have a car there, but if you've never driven it, you don't know how it drives, you're not attached to it. Anything, if you're not attached to pen and paper. I mean, it's just amazing that your thoughts need to go somewheres.
Well, and look at, you give me somebody who has, there's plenty of quotes throughout history about ideas. An idea is an idea until you bring it to life, until you do something with it. It's a thought, then it becomes an idea, then it becomes a fruition of some kind.
Right.
Whether it's a product, an idea, trademark, tagline, whatever it might be, but it has to go through its stages. But also, though, what a lot of people don't realize is that for things to go through the stages, of an idea or a thought to an idea, if it's a product, then it goes to a beta and a prototype and number one, you're blown away by what it can create, that it's like, whoa, we're actually doing this, like bringing something to market, like let's say the Tesla Cybertruck, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's a truck. Holy crap. And it can fuel itself with the solar panels in the back of the bed.
Yeah.
But here's the thing is that you have to be so firm in whatever backlash, whatever resistance, whatever, because you're going to get it, because there's a lot of people that don't want that. They don't want to be shown up by somebody else. But here's the thing. If you let that get to you, they're too connected. They're not, there's independent relation here. What somebody's view of what you're doing is independent from what you're doing.
Right. It's a perception, like we always talk about, it's a perception of things. And, and to some people, again, it doesn't matter what anyone thinks, but it's so funny that judgment of others still shouldn't impede in your own canvas. You know?
you give me somebody that's not firm in their ideas or not sure of themselves or their self-belief, and I'll give you somebody that is a brain that has an idea for a product, but it never comes to life.
Right.
Because they were beaten down by what other people think.
Right.
Case in point is when Jobs and Wozniak came out with the iPhone. Who are the heavy hitters there? Motorola, BlackBerry.
Mm-hmm.
They thought that they had the market cornered. They, dare I say, boastful.
Motorola and BlackBerry. I had both of those.
And Nokia. Nokia, I think, was
and
another
Nokia.
at that time.
Yeah, I had a Nokia too. I've had them all. I still think I have something.
but here's the thing: is that they rested on their laurels. They played not to win.
Right.
They sat on, well, nobody can touch us and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, guess what? They may be, I know BlackBerries, they may be around in some existence, but it's not for cell phones.
Yeah.
Primarily, it's other things.
Right.
And so that's why it says, let nobody decide for you, because that pretty much means that you're not giving yourself any ownership of your thoughts or of your existence.
Credit or credence or anything.
Yeah. You're just allowing somebody's viewpoint about what should be something that's not even their business, all of a sudden influence what it looks like.
Right.
How sad is that? This is your canvas. This is your life. This
Yeah.
is your mind,
Yeah.
not anybody else's.
Yeah.
It should become a safe haven. It should become your go-to place.
Yeah. It's, like that one song. It's speaking of songs, like that one song, give them something to talk about, like shit, let them think, let them assume things, because, everyone's going to see something from a different angle, like a thin girl may have just a little lump of a butt, but she bends a certain way and now she looks like she's got a huge butt. Like, it just depends where you're standing.
Right. It's the point of view. It's the
point of view and perception and and everyone's own account of what that means to them as opposed to what, and yet, there's always that popular consensus of this or that. And, consensus are just like assholes. Everyone has them.
Yeah. You either conform or you're an outcast.
Right. Right. I mean, look at Lady Gaga. I mean, you can't dispute her music is great.
There's a double-edged sword to that too, where it's just like, well, I want the best of both worlds, and I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way.
No.
When it comes to, am I going to go left or am I going to go right? Either am I going to conform or am I going to do my own thing?
Right.
And you have to sever those ties, and but also know is that, are you willing to be alone? Are you willing to trust yourself in what you're doing and where you're going and why? Because you're gonna be confronted with it every day. I can guarantee you that much.
This introvert doesn't mind when she's alone. I guess that's why I that's why I'm beating my own drum here. Like, I don't,
Exactly.
I love being
but to somebody that wavers, they fail miserably, and then they resort back to the conformity, and that's okay.
Well, yeah.
But it's not your blank canvas.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is that I'm such a free spirit that if people are going to tell me what to do or this or that, that's a great way to tell me, I'm going to show you, I'm going to do what I want to do. Ask Ricky. I mean, he can tell you that. You tell me that I'm going to do something without asking me or asking my suggestion. Oh, that's a switch. That's a switch for me. Like, is it my idea or yours? It just depends.
Well, and then we look at, obviously when it comes to like, what's the definition of real estate for Charles, or what's the definition of painting? Vincent Van Gogh, a little Bonnie Raitt, yep, is good for. I had a feeling Charles would comment on that, because of the music. He was on a roll last week, by the way. With we went down the rabbit hole a little bit with Charles last week. He was
well,
with
I don't
Molly
think
Hatchet and everything.
I think we just started with him in that road.
We're going to get you rolling on Friday, so be ready. Is that like Charles, for instance, like, okay, if we look at the blank canvas, it's your interpretation, right? If we look at Vincent van Gogh, that's his interpretation of art.
Right.
Is there going to be 100% unanimous agreement for his art? No. Does
No.
he care? No.
No. Again, you know, if we realize the whole life is a matter of perception, I mean, truly, truly comes to that, I think half of the problems we have in this world wouldn't even exist, because you could say, oh, you know, Brian's opinion right now, it's his interpretation. I'm cool with that.
Right.
And let it go and let it roll. And I think in every situation, that's what I do anymore, is I truly say, does this really going to matter? Does the fact that I love Brian and I respect him and he has a different opinion, he's a little mad right now, I let it go. Or, you know, whatever. This too shall pass, you know? And it truly comes down to, I am not going to hold that to be the standard of, you know, of assuming that that's how he is or whatever. And it's just, everything in life is that way. You know, like I used to hate Apple products. I was such an Android girl until that year, Note 8, I was traveling and they were going to confiscate my phone. And I'm like, okay, I need to turn it in for an Apple. Yes. Yes. And so then all of a sudden I'm an iPhone, you know, and now I've got an iWatch. I don't wear it half the time, but I will when I travel because it's great for the GPS. It's like, meh, you know, but
how'd they go again? You said to make sure.
You know, just all I'm saying, you bring the best goofiness out of me. I love you, Brian.
I try. How am I doing? How's it working?
It's doing great. But seriously, it's one of those things where if we just realize that when we're quirky, when we're this way, I mean, no one's hurting anyone until you feel like everything's, you know, that 4 Agreement book. I mean, you know, oh my goodness, you know, it has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with them. Don't take things personal. Be impeccable with your words. I've said 3 of them and I'm missing one of them right now. Damn it. But the point is the 4 Agreements is something definitely, you know, don't take anything that because somebody else is in it's a great little book. I mean, it's worth having. I think it really reminds people that we're just a reflection of each other, but it doesn't mean that you know, we see things in people that we see in ourselves. And how many times you look at somebody, Brian, that's done something, you're like, shit, I wish I had balls to do that. You know? And you're like, you just admire the fact that they said, screw everybody else. This is what I'm doing.
Well,
you know?
Well, and then when somebody looks at it, it's like, okay, if you're willing to do what you do well, like for Charles, it's real estate, and he's been doing it for a long time, is that because you're going to be confronted by risks every step of the way. But the difference is, how strong is that risk? What wins out? Does the blank canvas and living your self-expression win out over your risk? Because the risks don't go away until, you know, it's just a conversation you have with yourself and you set it aside and you move on. Because it's either you win out or your risk wins out. Your self-expression wins out or your risk wins out. Now, if your risk always wins out, you take no action. You get nothing done, right? And if you do get things done, it's very menial. It's not like a set of life work or a legacy that you want to create, right?
Can we also add here that your blank canvas, realizing this is all yours, that includes every day that you've taken your canvas and you've done shit that you're not happy about. You've got to own that all is yours before you can go forward. And I think that's important to make note here on our first day for the week, is that remember all your freaking canvases. Oh, that's just like Einstein. Man, that didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work. But keep bringing the certain formulas to the forefront until you find the design that's going to work. But you can't. He failed how many billion times before he got it right? You got to realize that building this canvas every day, you're not going to get it right for a while.
Correct.
You know, it's like a combination lock. It's like a combination. There's so many different combinations until you get the right combinations of alignment and thoughts and things. And there's so many different equations that a possible variable of the combination. I mean, there's just a lot of combinations.
Well, and let me save everybody a lot of time just by what Lynn just said, is that one of the pieces of that combination is your self-belief and your self-love. If that is not rock solid, now Lynn and Jerry made that very clear last week to me. You know, Lynn seeing where I've had a lack of self-love, you know, ever since our show started, coming up on 6 months here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And so this is not anything I don't deal with. But one thing that will be confronted, you can guarantee me, for anything you're doing against the grain, against the status quo, is that you're going to be challenged for your life.
Yeah.
Everything inside of you is going to be challenged, because the only way you're going to be fully self-expressed and to do your own thing is to stand up for yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, like Charles, I can only imagine what it goes through to list a house and do everything that you need to do and the demands of customers. But if you have a blank canvas for my ideal customer experience for real estate is this, right? How freeing would that be, because you love what you do? And now this is just an example. But for everybody, what your profession is or what you're up to in the world, look at it this way. It's like, what is my ideal customer experience for X?
Preach it, Brian, Coach Brian.
Because nobody has constraints on that.
Right.
Now, you might have belief, but if your belief is not firm and you get challenged, it's all gonna go away.
It's gonna wash out. Absolutely.
Right. I can say that for my book, where it's like, you know, for these books that I've got, my belief in myself wavered. Guess what happens? You don't, you know, that fire's not ignited, like Jerry said, and then you don't take the actions.
Yeah.
And like my graphic designer even said, Brian, hey, these books are just like an extended version of writings you've already done, like an ebook format.
Exactly. So there's no issues. It's just now it's the excuse you give yourself in between here and there, saying, well, I got to go here and I got to travel here and all this. You know, we seem to fit things we want to get done. And so it's bullshit when you always say, oh, I'm busy or I can't think of this.
There's confusion because there's a reason why we want to create a blank canvas anyway. There's a reason why we train and develop ourselves to want to do something different, right? But then if you do that, that's a path you have to carve out for yourself. Yeah. But there's something inside of you, there's a spark that ignited that it's like, I want to do this. Because there's so many people in the so-called Shark Tank of what everybody else does, that it's like, I don't want to be there anymore. Okay. Right. But just remember, when you start, you know, taking a different path, you're going to face all sorts of different stuff.
Absolutely.
Are you okay with that? One day you're going to be up and doing great, and then the next day you're going to be like, why did I even do this? But you hang in there. You know, when you can get to a place where you crave risks because of what it's going to do out in the world and what it can do for other people, man, and to live that every day, that's fulfillment.
Man on a run.
Yeah.
There you go. Put that on there. Man on the run.
Because it's like, you know,
man, what a mission.
I mean, even like graphic design or something like that, it's like, you know, here's my art. Here's my interpretation of this business card or this person's business, or, you know, even our show. Here's our interpretation of a live stream. It's a blank canvas. We're still figuring it out.
Yeah.
You know, we try to meet 10 minutes behind, you know, backstage before we come out with you every day. Sometimes for me, it's 3 minutes before, like today.
Tries to give you a little heart attack. Yeah. But other than that,
but it comes from nothing. Like every show that we do, I mean, we have an idea, but we don't know what's going to come out of our mouth.
No,
but that's how life works.
And we love it that way. We love it that way, because if we can go ahead and make something out of it and have some good points, because we drop nuggets every day. I mean, there's no doubt.
We learn nuggets every day.
Absolutely.
You know, so.
And we learn from each other, and we learn from our audience. So, I mean, it's a great thing. I mean, there's just great value everywhere you look at the fact of looking at from another, you know, point of view. And point of views really help give that 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional, hindsight on different things that you never even thought of looking at it that way. I mean, it's true. I mean, like, spelling or whatever, it just depends where the comma is, or the and, or these different things can change truly how you perceive, or how the message comes out.
Let's look at Parker Kane.
Yeah.
I mean, blank canvas.
Yeah.
You told me, or somebody told me about, or maybe it was his show with Ken or whatever, where he was hosting the clubhouse room, and like he was introducing everybody's name with beatboxing.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yep.
And you want to talk about a blank canvas?
Yep.
Do you think he was vulnerable?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think he cared? No.
And like I said,
that's what this has to be if you are truly creating from a blank canvas.
Right.
This is not a magic pill. You'll not have all the answers overnight.
No,
it's not going to happen. That's how it's designed.
No, not at all.
I think, I don't know if it was Picasso or Van Gogh. I mean, one of the great stories that I love hearing about, and just being present to the message, is where either one of those guys was painting, and this girl, I believe it was, came up to him and saw his work and said, "Can you paint a picture for me?" Right? And he goes, "Absolutely, I can do that." And no more than 15 minutes later, now I might be butchering this, but paraphrasing the story, is that he handed her, I think it was some kind of material or whatever, or maybe a canvas or whatever. He gave it to her in less than 15 minutes. And he's like, "That'll be $50,000. And she's like, "Well, you were only working at it for 15 minutes, but it took me 50 years to create that."
Right. Absolutely.
50 years for 15 minutes. It's not the hours you put in, it's the value you bring to the hour.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's just like my graphics and stuff. Like, I can pop them off really fast now. And the one thing, now I'm learning another graphic design thing, but it's the, I challenge myself. I'm like, shit, I can do that a lot faster than I could before, because the elements to use and what you need to do and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it really is a matter of coining in. Your canvas starts every day. They sell them in pages. The easel blank. It can, you bring, well, good example, just like cartoons. The way they do cartoons, every page is one little step over until you go like this and you see it moving. Yep. It's the same thing with a canvas. You bring it over, and if you just continuously bring it over till you have it to perfection. Writers and things like that.
Well, and even like mind mapping, let's take that for a second.
Yeah.
Right. You could mind map, I could mind map everything every day about this book. Right. Not only does it reinforce like that I'm making progress, but also the why I'm doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That before that book goes to, off to where it needs to go, it's been thoroughly evaluated. I ponder it, I look at it, but it could be, I could recreate the same thing every day, but then just cross off what's done.
Right.
Because then it's reinforcing to me that, holy crap, this is moving.
Right.
But also, though, it's like, is there something they're pulling me to add to this chain, to this map?
Right.
Or if somebody's doing a design of some kind or a piece of art, will they make it in one day? Who knows? But it could be something that they build on the next day. But it's blank because they got so far. Or like a puzzle, right? You start a puzzle and it's like, okay.
Yeah. Side pieces.
How I
first.
feel about doing this, how long I'm going to spend on the puzzle, what it's for. Is it going to be a gift? Is it is it an achievement of mine that I hung, I stayed with it. I didn't give up on myself. It could be a continuation, or it can be a blank canvas. Doesn't just have to be nothing on a page.
Right.
It could be a part of a larger process, but you look at it all the time. It fires you up.
Well, just look at the guys that take old cars and restore them.
Yep. Oh, that's a great example.
Yeah. I mean, you start out as like, what's this piece of shit doing in my driveway?
It's up on blocks and it's got a little rock, like. It's got a cover on it with
I paid
squirrel marks or
$5,000 for
squirrel
this
teeth
shit.
out of it, you know.
Nobody gonna pay me $5,000 for this shit. You know, I mean, until you put the sweat equity into it, until you have a vision of what it's going to look like. I mean, truly, it's one of those things, man. And I've seen, especially in New York, a lot of nice ass cars that ended up being rust in the backyards, and somebody else takes it. I drove a Belvedere.
Wow.
My boyfriend at the time went ahead and got it for a winter rat for me, and he paid $25 for this shit. And I'll tell you what, I drove it for a long time and then, fixed it up. But shit, that Belvedere now, who knows how much it would be worth.
$25 car.
Yeah, $25. But yeah, it was cool.
Well, and see, right there, that is a great example because it's tangible, right? A lot of this stuff might be abstract, or it might be, whatever's just in somebody's brain with their desired, whether it's paint or color or watercolors or whatever. But a car. The interpretation of like what the interior should look like.
Yeah.
Is it is like the narrative of the car?
Right.
Is it something that was handed down from a family? Is it their family?
Yeah.
Is it somebody else who owned it previously?
Yeah.
Is it something that you want to honor them by, or is it free
Well,
and clear, just your creation?
Yeah, my boyfriend at the time, he had a 1967 Dodge Corvette that he got from his grandfather, and he painted it blue. I mean, it turned out really nice, but he put a lot of work into it. But I love analogies. I just love analogies. I could
and
live
even like one of the things I loved. I have Charles says I have an 87-year-old uncle restoring. Oh yeah, 1977 Corvette. He will touch every piece.
Oh man, yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Like,
exactly.
Another analogy comes to mind is I love talking to people that have artwork on their arms, like tattoos, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, that's the ultimate sign of a blank canvas.
Yeah, and the
regardless
meanings
of what you look like, the condition of your body. It could be military, it could be you lost a loved one, it could be just because you love fish or you love the design, or
it's the meaning.
A true patriot, so I know a guy that his whole back has an American flag that emerges into a bald eagle.
Nice.
On his whole back, right?
Nice.
And he's a bigger guy, right? People do things for their own reasons, but it's from a blank. But their body is their blank canvas.
Exactly.
They work with a tattoo artist, a designer, right?
Yep.
This is their interpretation of patriotism. This is their interpretation of loving fish, whatever that is.
Yep. Yeah. So
love it.
Yeah. So
and by the way, I love asking people I don't know, like what was the motivation?
The purpose. Yeah, the purpose or the reason.
They're dumbfounded because it's like sometimes they might be bigger and more intimidating or whatever. I don't care about that. But I ask them, I'm like,
people love when you ask them about their art on their body. They love it. Some people have even gotten tattoos just for the sake of conversation. I like, they're like, just for conversation. I'm like, damn, that's freaking good.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is. So, I mean, it's, and I'm still a tattoo virgin over here. My kids are like, Mom, so, I didn't get on that trend, but my kids have all their tattoos are for, their stuff, and they love roses, so they have like memories of roses of me and stuff like that, and Mom and all that other stuff, or their kids' names, or my daughter has her nephew's names, things like that.
And see, right then and there, I mean, I mean, you're going, in my opinion, when you tattooed on yourself, that you're going to the highest level of commitment.
Right? Absolutely.
It's not like you're putting it down on paper, nobody sees it, you don't commit to it, nothing happens.
Right.
But if you're putting it on your body, that is your interpretation of what love is, or the reason why you did it.
Absolutely.
So, if anybody has anything to say, is it really going to matter anyway?
No.
Like, oh, I would have did this, or I don't like that fish, or
except for those old commercials where the guy goes in to get his girlfriend's tattoo there, and then he doesn't have enough money, and it looks like Dawn instead of Dawn.
Either that, or he breaks up with her after he got her on his arm, and it's like,
But silly things happen.
I think that goes to the furthest level about a blank canvas, is like, you know, when you look at yourself, go to the furthest level and reverse engineer it.
Right.
Like if you were to get a tattoo of something that's really important to you, just like the blank canvas.
Right.
But, you know, for any of us that are working on projects and wanted to be the best person or master our industry or master our profession, is that think of that notebook like your body, you know, and if you were to get a tattoo, is anybody's opinion going to matter? No.
Well,
so
you
then
know,
why should what you put down in a journal or a notebook or what you want to do in life, why should that matter?
well, you know, the hardest thing being a mom and having adult and 3 girls, I brought up 3 girls, okay, is letting them allow themselves to express themselves, but also just like not being from a mom standpoint, don't do that, don't do this, you know, letting them be who they're going to be.
Correct.
You know, I truly, you know, it's kind of hard, but I have like allowed my kids to be who they are and not, you know, influence or whatever. I'm just, you know, they'll come and ask my opinion and I'll give it to them. But,
well,
you know,
you also notice that people that truly step out and cut the cord where they create from a blank canvas is that they're content with where they are, but they probably had a little, they probably had a little bit more of a life that was independent where they had to create their own stuff.
Well, like I said, my daughter,
really
my daughter decided to get her tattoo before turned 18. She decided to paint it herself because I told her not to do it. But, you know, I only because I just knew your brain isn't developed enough. You're still young. I don't want you to have regret. But I love the 3 roses she did on her arm. Now, mind you, she does not like when I have other people look at it because it's not perfect enough for her or whatever. But I was like, you know what? That's on you. I told you to wait. You didn't wait. But I think you did a great job. She's very artistic. But again, you know, after that, you know, I haven't said anything. It's just, you know, it's to each its own, you know, but I think it's really cool that my daughters have all learned their own way from their own ideas, because one thing I've learned more than anything is you don't tell your kid not to do something because they want to do it more than ever. And I was one of those kids. So I was like, oh, hell no. You tell me what I'm going to do, because that's basically, you're not telling me what I'm not going to do. You tell me what I'm going to end up doing just to spite you, you know? So
I think let's look at it this way, and then we got to go. And we thank everybody for being our loyal fans, and for anybody catching the replay, we're truly grateful you're with us for day number 1 of the week of the blank canvas. Is that paying the price, right? Is that as Lynn was talking, I pondered a couple ways of asking this, but look at the blank canvas in terms of, are you willing to pay the price for the blank canvas? Are you willing to pay the price for the kind of customer experience you can have with your customers, right? Like at Charles, it's real estate. You know, for Lynn, it's live streaming. Are you willing to pay the price to be yourself? Absolutely. Because you're going to see it every day and you're going to get confronted by it.
Absolutely.
That's how you overcome it, right?
Absolutely.
How do you get through somebody passing away that you loved? You can either go around it, which is not a great idea, or you can go through it.
Yeah.
One, I can guarantee you this. One is depending on your choice, it's going to lead you in 2 different directions about how you recover.
Absolutely.
And the same thing here is like paying the price. You either pay the price that you are a contribution to the world, you have a lot to offer, it's different than other people, and you're willing to make that your journey.
Yep.
Because a blank canvas is something that you do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like as somebody that paints, they don't paint once in a while, they paint all the time.
Yeah.
When somebody's in business, they're in business all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot of different parallels here, but are you willing to pay the price for your own self-belief and your own blank canvas, or are you going to leave that up to somebody else? Because I guarantee what somebody else has in mind for you is not anywhere close to what you have in mind for yourself.
Jerry's best part. Hi, Cheryl. I love you.
Hi, Cheryl. Thanks for tuning in today.
We still need to hook up. I don't know how we're going to hook up, but we got to talk lots before I come and see you guys. I can't wait to be with Sherry and Jerry and hug them so hard.
Cheryl, I've never met you before, but I've watched several of your shows with you and your hubby and when you've been on and whatnot, and I just love how you guys banter back and forth.
I know. I love it. I know. I can't wait to go and visit them. I cannot wait. It's going to be We'll have to do I just can't wait. I just can't wait. It's just exciting to me.
Lynn on the move coming up.
I know. I'm super, super excited. You guys, if anything you take away from the show today, just realize that you're not stuck where you're at. Only if you let yourself be stuck. You know, I have a phone. Okay, I'll call you. But
that's awesome.
But seriously, everyone, just realize you're not as stuck as you think. Because every time I've been in a really shitty relationship or going through hell, what always saved my sanity is thinking of the day I'll have a new canvas. So on that note, I think it's time to say goodbye, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Day 2. See you tomorrow.
Bye.